welcome to our stream, everybody. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. This is a general reading for all signs. Moderating today on YouTube are the lovely Heather and the lovely Deline, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Shirley. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you to everybody for joining us today for this general reading for all signs. I am reading today with the Tarot of the Master, and I'm going to use this 300-year-old formula of eau de cologne to purify. I made this myself. It's all organic. Yay. 3 sprays in this room is more than sufficient. You can find the recipe for this and how to purchase this deck in the video description of this very video on my YouTube channel. And like I said, this is a general reading, and it's for all signs, and it's for today, the 29th of March, 2023, going out to everybody, whether you're watching with me live now, or whether you happen to be watching on a restream. It does go out to a lot of people, so if for some reason this doesn't seem to apply to you personally, just disregard it. It's probably not meant for you. In that case, check out the zodiacal readings for your own individual sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. All of those are available on my YouTube channel, on my Twitch channel for Restream, and you can find them so easily by going to my website, ariels-corner.com/zodiac. That's arielscorner with a hyphen.com/zodiac. I do not read with card reversals, and I just like to mention that because sometimes people aren't used to seeing that. So when cards come out upside down, I just flip them right side up. A lot of the decks I read with are ancient decks, not the modern tarot decks, and those are not reversible, so I just don't bother with the reversals anymore. If you would like to visit our shop, you can do that by going to you can do that by going to arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com, where you'll find listed all of the tarot decks that I read with that are still in print, and we make a small commission off of each sale on that site. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure you follow us on Twitch. You can watch all our videos on Twitch without any ads simply by subscribing to us there. We do appreciate you watching today. I'm going to shuffle a couple more times, give it a nice clean cut, and then we'll see what's in the cards for everybody today, the 29th of March, 2023. Yahoo! We have here the Page of Cups, we have the 8 of Swords, and we have the King of Coins. All right, there's a lot of wonderful good news that you're not wanting to hear because you're obsessing over something. You're obsessing over something. You're not wanting to let your mind stop thinking about whatever that horrible thing is. And so you're putting on hold all of this good stuff here. Now, where you're headed today is a very wonderful, sort of solid, prosperous day. But it's hard for you to get to that day when you can't let go of the obsessive thoughts in your mind. Now, this is also a day when there's a lot of good news for you that you're not capable of hearing because you're obsessing over something. So, when you notice that you're obsessing over something, first and foremost, just know that you're very normal. That happens to each and every one of us. We all go through that. So you don't have to feel bad about yourself for having obsessive thoughts. But it is helpful to notice them so that you are not wasting your time and wasting your day on them. So I have a technique called the off switch. It's very simple to learn. You can find it by going to YouTube and just searching in the search bar off switch Gatoga, and it'll come up with it. And just learn that technique. It'll take you just a couple minutes to learn and use it all day long, because you want to shut that down, because it's just another one of the many delay tactics that the ego has to make sure that we delay or obliterate our success. And now this King of Coins is talking about one of the things that the ego is trying to block from your awareness is your own ability to make money and to make prosperity for yourself, and to make, it's not only money and prosperity, it's any kind of important asset in the physical world, real concrete things, real concrete good. And look at, I mean, I kind of like this this picture, this king is just like printing money. It's just very concrete, and that's exactly what is happening for you today if you can get your mind focused on the tasks at hand rather than obsessing over whatever it is. Now, this here is the good news, and the good news is coming to you straight from Spirit. And there's so much of it. I mean, it's actually infinite. And if you can spend some time in silence today, and that means mental silence too, shutting that down even for a couple of minutes and sitting in silence for a few moments and not having any agenda. A lot of times with magic and things like that, we have a big agenda. Okay, this is what I'm going to accomplish, and I need to visualize this, and then I want this, and then I want that. But meditation today for you, I recommend that you don't come into your meditation with any agenda, that you find some silence where you can just have receptivity and receive the good news, because then you'll have so much. You'll be so charged up that all of your efforts today, and there will be a lot of effort today. There's going to be a lot of a very prosperous activity today if you allow it. It'll be charged by that good news that's coming to you. A lot of that good news for some of you is going to be real obvious. You're going to hear, you're going to get inspiration. You're going to hear kind of an idea of what the good news is. But for many of us, the good news doesn't have any form. It's completely occult, meaning that it's hidden, it's silent, it's beyond words, and it's just sitting in that silence and receiving that wisdom, and that charges you up to have very concrete, very, very practical results in the world today. But this obsession, these obsessive thoughts the idea is let's get them to spend their day obsessing over things so that they don't hear the good news and they don't get to work. Let's just get them to waste their whole day. Yay, I hope so. That's the ego talking, right? And don't allow that to happen for yourself. Don't allow that to happen to yourself, because remember, the ego is not something that has any power over you. It's not even a real thing. It's just a habit of thinking. It's a way of using the mind that we've kind of gotten into the habit of doing. And it's that part of us that likes to self-destruct. It's that part of us that likes to, that likes to use whatever evidence is around us to prove to us that we're not good enough, nothing's ever going to work out for us, that why even try, all that stuff, right? And if you're allowing yourself to be informed by that kind of thinking, then that's all going to be what you have. That's going to be the truth for you. And you don't want that. Nobody wins. The ego doesn't win even, but the ego can't win because the ego, like I said, doesn't even exist. It's just a construct. All right. Here we have a 5 of Cups. Here we have a 7 of Wands. And we have the Moon card. Oy. Okay. This is fun. Okay, so there's grief. There's grieving that many of you are going through. There's depression that many of you are going through. There's a lot that's feeding this obsession. Look at this. Here's the obsession. Here's this pattern of energy. So the grief feeds the obsession, which feeds the illusion. So the grief to the obsession to the illusion, because what we think about is what we expand, what we project out into the world. So if we're feeling grief, if we're feeling depression, if we're feeling upset, and we can't get out of that, if that's the one and only reality for us, then that's what we're going to project. Now, there's nothing wrong with having grief. There's nothing wrong with having depression. There's nothing wrong with having negative, quote, emotions or conflicted emotions. That's just part of being human. It's just that sometimes what we do is instead of moving through them, which is what we have to do, you got to go through them to get onto the other side of them. Instead of moving through them, we obsess over them. And there's a big difference between moving through your grief and obsessing over your grief. There's a huge difference between moving through your sadness and obsessing over your sadness and creating based on your sadness and projecting sadness, right? But you know how that is. You know when you've lost a pet or you've lost a loved one in the past, you look out over the world and you're like, why is everybody happy? Don't you know how bad everything is? Or you've broken up, or your relationship is broken up, you look out over the world, it's just like, why are you guys happy? Why are you laughing? Don't you know how bad everything is, right? Because that's how we project onto our scene, right? But when you're doing that, then you can't have this pattern. It's either this pattern or this pattern. This pattern that wants to happen in another alternate reality for you is based on the good news, is based on upgrades, is based on prosperity, right? But you can't have good news, upgrades, and prosperity and depression, obsession, and illusion. You can't have them all at the same time. It's 2 tracks in this particular reading. There's 2 complete systems of thought. Now, again, there's nothing, it's not the grief that's the problem. It's not the sadness that's the problem. It's not the emotional discord that's the problem. It's the obsession that's the problem. So let's turn our mind off to the obsession and honor the feelings. And honor those feelings, but don't project out those feelings onto everything. Instead, we want to say, I know I'm feeling sad. I know I'm having grief, and you probably have every reason to. There's probably nothing, other than truth that supports this. Maybe something horrible has happened or is happening, right? And so you have every reason to feel the way you're feeling. And so you want to honor those feelings. You don't want to make yourself wrong for having those feelings, but you do want to move through those feelings, because that's not the end of the story. No matter how bad it is, it's not the end of the story. And that's what this good news is for. So instead of taking this path from here to obsession, take this path from here to the good news. So that means you sit in silence and you say, I feel bad. I feel awful. You call on infinite spirit. You call on whatever that higher power is for you. And you say, I feel awful. And I don't know what to do with these feelings. And you just sit with them and you feel them and you feel the silence and you relax your body and you allow yourself to move through them. And that causes you to have an opening in your mind for this healing to come in, for this good news to come in for you. All right. And so that way you can transform those feelings and you can benefit from those feelings rather than obsessing over those feelings and making decisions about the world regarding those feelings. When you do that, then everything starts to turn around. Everything starts to upgrade. Everything starts to change. And then you can get to work. You can get to work and really make a difference. So a lot of the things that you're depressed about then are going to motivate you into making positive change, motivate you into making a difference, rather than projecting hatred and upset and venom all over your day based on the fact that you feel so bad. Do you see? It's a very challenging day for some of you, but you can make it through if you make sure to stop the obsession, stop obsessing over it, and instead take what you're feeling and bring it to spirit and ask for healing. Ask to see something different. Ask to see differently. And ask that those feelings of depression, those feelings of sadness, those feelings of emotional discord to be used for something good. And then they will be. And it's actually going to motivate you. And you're actually going to get so much accomplished. And so many good things are going to happen as a result of it, rather than you just taking the ball and running with it and projecting your depression out over everything. And then then you're kind of caught in that cycle that never ends. So again, don't make yourself wrong for feeling what you're feeling. What you're feeling is sacred. But let's allow ourselves to transform through those feelings rather than project those feelings onto everything. All right, this is a great day. It can be a challenging day, but you're going to make it, and all is going to be well. I just have the best feeling for you. And I'll be back for another reading tomorrow. Thank you so much to our amazing moderators, Heather, Delene, and Shirley. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. Blessed be.